The global electric vehicle race just hit a turning point. For the first time in history, Tesla has been overtaken, and not by a legacy automaker, but by a Chinese company once known mostly for making phone batteries. That company is BYD. And what's happening right now could redefine the balance of power in the global auto industry. Let's dive deep into how BYD just surpassed Tesla, why Chinese EVs are taking over the world, and what this means for the future of cars, technology, and geopolitics. Segment 1. The changing of the guard. For years, Tesla has been the undisputed king of electric vehicles. Elon Musk's company revolutionized the EV landscape, turning what was once a niche hobby for eco-enthusiasts into a global phenomenon. With sleek designs, long range, and cutting-edge software, Tesla became the symbol of the future. But while the world focused on Tesla's gigafactories and self-driving dreams, something massive was brewing in China. Behind the scenes, BYD, short for Build Your Dreams, was quietly building an empire of its own. At first, few outside China paid attention, but now that silence has turned into shock. In 2025, BYD officially surpassed Tesla in global battery electric vehicle sales. The numbers are clear: over 1.6 million pure EVs sold by BYD versus about 1.2 million for Tesla. That's a gap of nearly 400,000 cars, and it's growing every quarter. The world's new EV leader isn't from California, it's from Shenzhen, China. Segment 2. How did this happen? To understand BYD's rise, we have to go back to the early 2000s. BYD began not as a car maker, but as a battery manufacturer. In fact, it supplied batteries for Nokia, Motorola, and other electronics giants before it even built its first car. That background gave BYD something Tesla didn't have in its early years: total control over its supply chain. When BYD entered the auto industry in 2003, it applied the same vertical integration mindset it used for batteries. It didn't just build cars, it built its own batteries, chips, and even semiconductors. Fast forward to today, and BYD produces nearly every component of its vehicles in-house. That's how it can do what many automakers cannot: sell electric cars profitably for under $25,000. Its small EVs, like the Seagull, cost less than many gas cars, yet still offer strong performance and modern features. That's a game-changer for the global market, especially in price-sensitive regions like Southeast Asia, South America, and Europe. Segment 3. China's EV ecosystem. BYD's success is also a reflection of China's national strategy. For more than a decade, China has been investing heavily in clean energy, EV infrastructure, and battery research. Generous subsidies, local manufacturing policies, and government partnerships created the world's largest EV market. By far, in China today, more than 1 in 3 new cars sold is electric. And BYD dominates that landscape. It's not just an automaker, it's part of a complete ecosystem that includes battery plants, charging networks, and software integration. Tesla, of course, also operates in China. Its Shanghai Gigafactory is one of its most productive sites. But BYD has home field advantage: cheaper labor, domestic supply chains, and direct political and financial support. In China, BYD is not just a company, it's a national champion. Segment 4. Tesla's model is being challenged. Tesla built its brand on innovation, performance, and a premium image. Its cars are fast, futuristic, and fun. But they're also expensive. Especially outside the US, BYD took the opposite approach: scale first, luxury later. It flooded the market with reliable, affordable EVs for every customer segment, from compact city cars to luxury SUVs. This broad portfolio gave BYD massive market reach, while Tesla stuck with a narrow lineup. In many parts of the world, people don't want a $50,000 EV. They want a $20,000 one that just works. BYD gave them that, and it did it without compromising too much on quality or tech. In Europe, BYD's sales jumped over 240% in 2025, while Tesla's registrations fell by more than 40%. The numbers tell the story. Affordability is winning. Segment 5. The power of vertical integration. If there's one secret weapon behind BYD's rise, it's vertical integration. Tesla was once praised for this approach, owning everything from design to software to battery production. But BYD takes it even further. The company builds its own batteries, chips, motors, and even some of the raw materials. It makes the world's safest and most efficient blade battery, which is cheaper to produce and less prone to fire than traditional lithium-ion packs. Because of this, BYD's costs are 15 to 25% lower than Tesla's for comparable models. And with that kind of cost advantage, BYD can afford to cut prices aggressively without bleeding profit. This allows it to dominate not just China, but also new global markets where affordability drives adoption. Tesla, meanwhile, relies on external suppliers for some of its components and still faces high logistics costs, especially in Asia. Segment 6. The global expansion. BYD isn't just staying in China. It's building factories across Europe, starting in Hungary and Turkey, to serve the European market directly. It's entering Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia with massive distribution deals. In some regions, BYD has already partnered with ride-sharing and taxi fleets, replacing thousands of combustion vehicles with electric ones. Its strategy is clear: dominate emerging markets before Western automakers can react. Tesla, by contrast, has focused heavily on North America and parts of Europe. It's building a gigafactory in Mexico, but its expansion pace is slower compared to BYD's regional diversification. If BYD can lock in these markets now, it could become the Toyota of the electric age: global, affordable, and trusted. Segment 7. Tesla's challenges. Tesla is still one of the most valuable companies in the world, but cracks are starting to show. First, competition. Tesla was once the only serious EV maker. Now there are hundreds, especially in China. Brands like NIO, XPeng, Zeekr, and Li Auto are all pushing innovation forward. Second, the product lineup. Tesla's main models, the Model 3 and Model Y, are starting to feel dated. New versions are coming, but BYD launches several new models every year. Third, pricing. Tesla's margins have fallen sharply after multiple price cuts in 2024 and 2025. The company is struggling to balance growth with profitability. And finally, regulation and trade. As Chinese EVs pour into Europe and Asia, Western governments are starting to consider tariffs or restrictions to protect domestic automakers that could affect both Tesla's Chinese operations and BYD's export plans. In short, Tesla is under pressure from all sides, and BYD is leading that charge. Segment 8. Technology showdown. Both companies are more than automakers, they're tech companies. But their philosophies are very different. Tesla bets on software, automation, and AI. Its focus is on autonomous driving, over-the-air updates, and full integration of data and energy products. If Tesla succeeds in solving full self-driving, it could leap ahead again in technology leadership. BYD's strength lies in manufacturing efficiency and battery innovation. Its blade battery technology, for instance, is now being supplied to other automakers, including Toyota. That's a strategic move. BYD can profit even from its competitors' success. Tesla leads in software, but BYD leads in scale and cost. It's like comparing Apple to Samsung. One wins on brand and design, the other wins on market share and diversification. Segment 9. The geopolitical dimension. There's also a geopolitical story here. Electric vehicles aren't just about cars. They're about control of the next energy era. The world is shifting from oil to lithium, from refineries to battery plants, and China dominates the entire supply chain. More than 70% of the world's battery materials and components come from China. That gives BYD, and by extension the Chinese economy, a huge strategic advantage. For Western countries, this raises tough questions. Can they compete without depending on Chinese technology? Will they subsidize their own EV industries to catch up? And what happens if global tensions spill over into trade restrictions or resource bans? BYD's rise isn't just a business story. It's a geopolitical signal that China's industrial strategy is paying off. Segment 10. What this means for consumers. For drivers and everyday consumers, this competition is actually great news. More competition means lower prices, better technology, and faster innovation. 5 years ago, EVs were luxury items. Today, you can buy one for the price of a small sedan. In the next few years, the cheapest EVs will cost less than $15,000, many of them built by BYD and its Chinese peers. This affordability could finally make electric mobility mainstream, especially in developing regions where car ownership is just starting to boom. Tesla, of course, will continue to attract those who value performance, technology, and brand. But for the majority of buyers, value for money is king, and BYD is delivering exactly that. Segment 11. The future of Tesla. Tesla isn't standing still. It's working on a new generation of vehicles rumored to cost under $25,000, which could compete directly with BYD's lower-end lineup. It's also investing in AI-driven autonomy, energy storage, and humanoid robots, all part of Elon Musk's broader vision of a fully integrated, automated future. But these are long-term plays. In the short term, Tesla's biggest challenge is volume and affordability. If BYD keeps growing faster and cheaper, Tesla could lose the mass-market crown, even if it remains the technology leader. Still, never count out Tesla. The company has reinvented itself before, and it might do so again, perhaps through software subscriptions, robo-taxi networks, or next-gen battery breakthroughs. Segment 12. BYD's next steps. So where does BYD go from here? The company is now focused on conquering Europe and expanding in emerging markets. It's also eyeing the US, although political barriers remain high. BYD is investing billions into research, solid-state batteries, and AI-driven manufacturing. It wants to be more than the cheap EV brand. It wants to be known for quality, design, and technology. Its luxury sub-brands like Denza and Yangwang already target premium segments, directly competing with Tesla, BMW, and Mercedes. That's the next phase. Not just beating Tesla in sales numbers, but in perception. Segment 13. What happens next? The next 2 years will determine the future of the EV industry. If BYD can maintain its growth and global expansion, it could become the world's dominant automaker, not just in EVs, but in total car production. If Tesla can execute its next-gen platform and unlock new breakthroughs in autonomy, it could reclaim leadership. But one thing is certain: the EV world is no longer a one-horse race. The age of Western dominance is giving way to a multipolar era, where Chinese, American, and European automakers all fight for a share of the electric future. Segment 14. Final thoughts. The story of BYD versus Tesla isn't just about two companies. It's about two philosophies colliding. Tesla represents Silicon Valley's obsession with disruption, software, and visionary leadership. BYD represents China's mastery of scale, manufacturing, and state-backed industrial power. One builds dreams through innovation. The other builds dreams through execution. And right now, execution is winning. Whether this leadership shift is temporary or permanent remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: Chinese EVs are no longer chasing Tesla. They're leading the charge into a new electric world. So, as the global auto industry rewrites its history books, one question remains: who will define the next decade of mobility, the dreamers or the builders?